Hello, Aaron MacDonald here, discussing my assignment 2, server-side web development, student number D2012518. Now we start with our assignment 2 login. This is our initial login page, the starting page. You will see we used to open our PHP. We included a top message from the very start, so it has a nice little kind of banner on the top of the screen. This will be on all screens across, so you'll see this when we show the website itself. Then we start the session. It's called doc type HTML. We open a head, title, basic login form, then our char sets, meta name, our general setup for starting a website, and then we link our CSS file. Then we go through our CSS code again. Simple CSS code to make a nice box with a submit button and colors, and whenever we object fill position to the left, then we do a wrapper, text align center, margin 0, auto, padding top 30x. Then we have a form 1, background color deep pink, box shadow 0px, 0px, 10px, 0px, and this gives us a red color. Then we have a width of 230px. Padding bottom 30px, margin auto. Form 1p, color aqua, font weight bold, padding top 225px, font size 17px. Form 1. Then we have our input type text and our input type password. This is basically the boxes that we are going to type in. We have our width, our height, our padding to the left, margin, top, border, etc. etc. Again, color of red. Form 1, type, import, submit. This is our submit button. Margin top 25, width 120, 40. Then our background color of a cornflower blue. Border none. Color white. Font weight bold. And then that's the end of our CSS. Very simple CSS, but it turns out very nicely, I have to say. PHP. This is the server side from validation with PHP. This code executes on the web server. This is our variables that we will be using throughout the code to call certain parts of what we need from the database, or what we need to take as an input and put in the database. So if server request method equal post, this means that we're putting the method of sending as a post, not a get a post. If empty post uname, this is where we get our error messages. If empty post username error name is required, else username checks data post username. If Santi check, this is checking the characteristics of your input or given database info. However, this will be counted towards your input. So it'll be a string, a length of 10. If it's not a string or is not a length of 10, name is not of correct type or length. Then the same for password. Password is required if empty, else password. Then we check if numeric and length is 6. Password error, password is not correct type or length, same again. We then have a function of check user data. We use these special HTML specifications. We use HTML special cars, input trim, and then we also have strip lashes, and then return the input data. This basically we had a little mistake there. We were cut out. Now back to where we were. We were at the input data. This trims the input data trim. This trims either side of the variable, or given input deletes like white space or mistapped spaces, etc. Then this eliminates any special characters or accepts them, and then this strips the lashes. Then we return the input data. Then we have our sanity check, data type and length. Assign the type is type. if type data return false. Now we see if there is anything in the string. Else if empty data return false, then we check how long the string is. Else if string length data is more than the actual given length we have given for it, return false. Else if all is well, we return true. Then we close our PHP, and that would be it until the bottom part there just below the footer for the moment. Then we close our heading, and we have our body, background color, aqua, div class, BG banner, title earth, div class, BG text, H1 Aaron's logon screen. This is just a header we will see now. And when we get to the web page, below is a box that requires you to fill out a username, also another paragraph I left in. We close the div. Then we have a wrapper and a form. A form is basically the actual boxes that we are typing in. It's listed as a form, and it says after the form, post form action. This listed as a post, and then action after. Then we go to check login. That's this here, which we will get to now in a minute. Then we have a little. This sits at the top of our input box. Required field. I mean, we need to type this out for users' peace of mind and safety throughout finding out where they need to type in, even though it's very clear. Input type equals text name, username, class, form 1 fields, placeholder, enter username. This is getting, so we're calling our CSS code form 1 fields, and then we are placeholding it with an enter username, and then value is in, but we have also set a max length of what you can type into the box of 20. And we have a span class error. Then we have the same for our password, except we label it as ID, as its ID in the database, enter password, etc., etc. But also in this we set a max length of 5. That should be 6 though. Sorry, that was just a little mishap. Then we have our input, or sorry, not our input, our submit button, and this values are let's just have the value of login. So when we log in, we'll see next what this actually does for us. And close our table and close our form, close our div. We have a footer, we just left a little span and then my name at the bottom. Then we have a little final PHP. If there is an error message session variable set, if is this session is an error, display the error message. Then display the error message session variable value if session error again. Then clear error message variable. So we unset it, as you can see here. After we is set it, then we print it, and then we unset it. And then that's the end of assignment 2 login. Then we have an assignment 2 check login. We have open our PHP again, include top image, start the session. We have our variables, empty ones, of course. Then we check if submit button has been pressed. That is this here. This is this is passing to the next code. If it was pressed, then check our login. Username equals post username. Username again, we trim, strip lashes, HTML special cards, etc., etc. Then we have a reference of where we got this from, of W3 Schools, if you want to see this for yourself. Then we have a filter var. We're going to sanitize the username and set it as a string. Now this is the interesting part. This is our database. Again, a very commonly known that majority of default database addresses is 127.0.0.1, and then I just stuck to the initial default password of root, and then the username of root, and then server password of nothing. Then we have our database of my applications DB. Then we connect we connect to the SQL. We have our variables here that we're connecting to and we're looking for. And then if MySQL connect error, print error connecting to MySQL database. Else, if we are successfully connected to Aaron's MySQL database. This checks details against database to validate. SQL select from login table where uname equals username and ID equals ID. So this is checking basically in our database SQL if the username we have typed in equals the username in the database. Result, it feeds us back our results. Then we have our number of rows. If number of rows is more than 0, session login equals 1. And session username equals username given. Header location then is assignment to success. Else send an error message and it will send you back then to assignment to login, and it will say underneath login unsuccessful, and then it will unset a login, so it resets, where is it? It resets our login of 1 to 0, and then we close our SQL connection. Then our success page, simple success page. It was like the secret mission that we already had in Lab 8. You've successfully logged in, top of secret stuff only, username you should see. Border, secret agent, is then print the name underneath, secret mission, learn PHP beside it. And then we have an anchor tag of logout. And then if none of this is right, error message, you must log in to view the page you are trying to access. Session message error or session error message. Then we have a top image code. This is simple code for linking the picture to the top of the pages. Then a simple logout code. We start the session, destroy the session, then it heads back to login. And then we'll give you a quick view of our code. Here is my database. We have the ID of 1234 and then the username of Aaron. And then actual here, and here is our login screen. Now, even though even though we have the correct code and might be one or two tweaks, it does not. Let's see, down here it says login unsuccessful. If we try Geo and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, no. If we leave this empty, please fill out this field. Again, please fill out this field. But we will show you the other pages. Assignment to success. PHP. Again, that has been my presentation of my assignment. Thank you for watching and goodbye.